Thank you, Lori. Next up, I'll bring up my colleague, Nick Komives. He actually lives in the West End.
Good morning. Today I stand before you not only as a member of Toledo City Council, but as a resident of the Old West End, as a neighbor, and as someone whose heart is broken by what happened at our festival on Saturday. Like so many people in this community, I know some of the people that were injured. I also know some of the neighbors, nurses, medical professionals, and ordinary residents who ran toward danger when gunfire erupted. They knelt beside the wounded, they applied tourniquets, they comforted terrified families. They demonstrated the very best of who we are as a community in one of our darkest moments. The Old West End Festival is more than an event. It is a celebration of neighborhood history, diversity, and community. It is where families gather, where old friends reconnect, where children play, and where we showcase one of Toledo's greatest treasures. On Saturday, our sense of safety was shattered. To the victims and their families, Toledo stands with you. To those who rushed to provide first aid before ambulances arrived, you are our heroes. To the first responders, nurses, doctors, firefighters, paramedics, and police officers who worked through chaos to save lives, thank you. And to every resident who is hurting today, you are not alone. But mourning is not enough. We have spent years offering thoughts and prayers after mass shootings. We have held vigils. We have lowered flags. We have comforted grieving families. And yet, the violence continues. After the Dayton tragedy in 2019, many Ohioans believed that state leaders would finally confront the epidemic of gun violence with urgency and courage. Instead, years have passed without meaningful statewide action equal to the scale of this crisis. Governor DeWine has expressed concern after this shooting, as he has after others. But concern is not a policy. Sympathy is not a solution. Families deserve more than statements after tragedies. They deserve leadership before tragedy occurs. Ohio needs action. We need stronger penalties for illegal gun trafficking and straw purchasing. We need investments in violence interruption programs that identify conflicts before they become shootings. We need greater support for community-based intervention efforts that connect young people with mentors, jobs, and opportunities. We need safe storage requirements to keep firearms out of the hands of those who should not have them. We need stronger tools for our law enforcement and courts to intervene when credible threats of violence emerge. And we need sustained funding for mental health services, trauma recovery, and neighborhood-based prevention efforts. None of these measures alone will end gun violence, but doing nothing guarantees that it will continue. This cannot be a partisan issue. Bullets do not ask whether someone is a Democrat or a Republican. They do not ask where you worship, who you love, or how you vote. They simply destroy lives. Today, I am asking every elected official from City Hall to the State House to treat this crisis with the seriousness it deserves. At the same time, I refuse to allow this act of violence to define my neighborhood, the Old West End, because I know this neighborhood. I know the people who open their homes to strangers. I know the volunteers who spend months organizing this festival. I know the residents who checked on one another throughout the night. I know the neighbors who showed up at hospitals and who have spent the last several days caring for families and victims. What happened on Saturday was real, the pain is real, and the trauma is real. But so is the love. So is the compassion. So is the resilience. The Old West End was built by generations of people who believed in community. We honor them by not retreating to fear, but by standing together in hope. On Saturday night, I, along with many of my neighbors, networked to identify and support our neighbors in need. I saw community rally around one another in the face of trauma. I saw neighbors supporting one another, and it was really beautiful. We also stepped up to support each other by hosting debrief sessions and offering mental health support in our neighborhood libraries. Our community knows how to support one another. I felt that solidarity on Sunday when over 100 of my neighbors attended a vigil to share stories of hope and how we can rebuild our sense of safety in our neighborhood. I challenge those listening to ask themselves how they're building community. What volunteer opportunities exist in your neighborhood? How can you support our young people to show them the possibilities that can help to build their lives? We will continue to support the victims. We will continue to help law enforcement bring those responsible to justice. We will continue to demand action from leaders who have the power to act. And we will continue building a city where our children can attend a festival, a concert, a parade, or a block party without fear of gunfire. That is the Toledo that we all deserve. That is the Old West End that we love. And that is a future worth fighting for. Thank you.